Good morning. Welcome to this meeting of the Licensing Subcommittee. The first item of business this morning is the appointment of the chair for the meeting. Can I ask members of the subcommittee to nominate a chair for today's meeting?
Yeah, I propose Councillor Hurlinger.
Thank you. Councillor Tracy, would you second that?
I do second that.
Thank you, Councillor Hurlinger. You're in the chair.
Thank you. As you heard, I'm Councillor Peter Hurlinger, and this meeting is being broadcast live, recorded, and will be made available on the Council's YouTube channel. The agenda is available on the Council's website by following the links to your Council and decision-making, consultations and survey, and then on to committee agendas and minutes. The quorum for this meeting is 3 members, and all 3 will need to be present at all times. If any subcommittee member or the legal advisor lose connection, we'll pause to allow them to rejoin as soon as possible. To reduce feedback, could everybody mute their microphones while not speaking? After the subcommittee has heard the submission, I'll ask if members have any questions on the submission. Members can also indicate that they wish to speak by using the chat function. Please do not use the chat function to ask questions of officers or members, and remember that all meeting participants on the video call will be able to see what has been entered in the chat. Please also keep mobile phones in silent mode or switched off during the meeting. To introduce the participants in the meeting, I'm Councillor Peter Hurlinger. We have 2 councillors, Councillor Yvonne Tracy.
Hello.
And Councillor Ty Thailand. And we also have Guy Bishop, who's a legal advisor, and Binny Day, who is the licensing officer. And we have the applicant's agent, Mr. Panchal, and also a member of Democratic Services in attendance. The second item on the agenda is declarations of interest. Does any member of the subcommittee have a pecuniary interest, non-registrable interest, or other registrable interest to declare in relation to the application today?
No.
I see no, and for me it's also a no. The third item is the minutes. Can we confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 30th of July 2024 as a correct record?
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed. So I will sign those minutes at a later date. The procedure is the parties have been notified of the usual procedure for the licensing hearing as set out in the pages 3 to 5 of the agenda. Paragraph 57 on page 4 of the agenda pack deals with notification of the decision following the subcommittee's deliberations. This will be firstly by confirmation by email later today, and the full details and reasons for the decision will be followed within 5 working days. Are there any objections to proceeding on basis of these procedures? So we move on to the hearing, agenda item 4, Kiara Food and Wine, 269 Kingston Road, New Malden, KT3 3FN, application for a new premises licence under the Licensing Act of 2003, which is an Appendix A of page A1 of the agenda. Can I now ask Binny Day, the licensing officer, to introduce the report on the application?
Thank you, Chair. This application for a new premises licence relates to Kiara Food and Wine, 269 Kingston Road, New Malden, KT3 3FN. The application was made on 24th July 2024 by Mr. Manpreet Singh Kapoor on behalf of Mr. Kawaljit Singh. The application originally sought a new premises licence to authorise the sale by retail of alcohol, off sales only, Mondays to Sundays, from 0700 to 2300 hours. Relevant pages of the application form and a plan of the premises are attached at Annex 1. Following discussions with responsible authorities, the applicant amended their application, and the hours sought for the off sales of alcohol were amended to Mondays to Sundays from 0800 to 2300 hours, with the opening times to match. The proposed hours of operation are laid out in Annex 2. I confirm that the applicant has advertised the application by way of public notice displayed at the premises and in a local newspaper. The application has also been made available on the Council's website. I confirm that all responsible authorities received a copy of the application. Representation was received from the Metropolitan Police in relation to the prevention of crime and disorder licensing objective. Following mediation, the applicant has addressed the concerns by making amendments to the operating schedule. These amendments are reflected in the conditions shown in Annex 3 of this report. In light of these amendments, the concerns raised by the Metropolitan Police have been satisfied and the representation has been withdrawn. In accordance with the Council's licensing policy, 264 addresses were consulted in writing and informed that an application had been received. One valid representation was received from other persons. The representation makes reference to matters that relate to the prevention of crime and disorder licensing objective and the provincial public nuisance licensing objective. A copy of the representation is attached at Annex 4. The representation makes reference to the need for a licensed premises. Members will be aware that in the making of the decision, the need cannot be taken into consideration, as cited in paragraph 14.19 of the Secretary of State's guidance. A map showing the approximate location of the premises is attached at Annex 5, and some photographs of the premises and surrounding area are attached for your information at Annex 6. In considering this report, you are required to take into account the Secretary of State's guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act 2003, the Council's Statement of Licensing Policy, and the licensing objectives. The Council's Statement of Licensing Policy includes guidelines on trading hours, and these guideline hours are shown in the tables contained within Annex 7. You are asked to determine the application having regard to the representations received and any evidence heard at the hearing, in line with the options set out in paragraph 16 of the licensing report. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Do members have any questions for the officer?
No.
And neither do I. So I now call upon the applicant or the applicant's agent to give a summary of the application. Paragraph 47 on page 3 of the agenda pack deals with the length of time an applicant can speak, which is up to 5 minutes to present their submission, and the Democratic Services Officer will advise when there's 1 minute left. So can I now turn to the applicant's agent to present the application?
Good morning, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I've just tried to confirm whether you can hear me before I put my presentation up. Chair, I'm going to be quickly and in short. The reason being is I'd advise you what my client's experience is. My client presently owns 5 licenses, one in London in Park Lane in Hayes, Park Parade in Hayes, Aspar High Street in Bream, and the Swansea off-license, and Warburton Road, Southampton, he owns another off-license, and one in Bradford. Each off-licenses have a DPS separately trained under the APLH Level 2 course, and they all have never breached any conditions since 2017. And this is his 6th project. He will be himself sitting, Mr. Kawaljit Singh will be sitting himself at the premises and running and become the DPS there. So this is the background of the people. He has his brother-in-law, his sister, and his wife involved in the business. Chairman, we will be having a staff training manual at the premises, which he does with all other premises. All this Section 57 guidance will be there in nominating the alcohol authorization. There will be a Challenge 25 policy in place at the premises. There will be a CCTV, as you have seen in your bundle regarding the conditions agreed with the police. On page A25 of the bundle, which I have got, of prevention of crime and disorder, staff training, staff and records. As I've got a less time, I'm sure you have got all the conditions as reported in the license officer's report. So they will be thoroughly followed. The responsible authorities have been got in touch and have agreed the conditions laid out by the premises. Sorry, by the license holder. There will be notices put up for please leave quietly, consider our neighbors. There will be a training manual. All staff will be trained every 3 months, and the training will be recorded staff before their employment, all documents will be checked, whether they have a right to work checklist. There will be a Section 57 notice put up regarding authorization. Chairman, that is our presentation today. We will make sure the 4 licensing objectives are robustly promoted as done in other premises. We are happy Mr. Kawaljit Singh is present here with me. Unfortunately, because of technical issues, we could not get in touch with this. Normally we do. So, Chairman, we are happy to take any questions, and we feel this license be granted.
Thank you. Councillors, do we have any questions for the applicant's agent?
No, I don't feel I have any actually, thank you.
You're on mute.
Sorry, yeah, just one question, if I may. Good morning, sir. There was one representation objection. The main concern of the objector is the noise and the antisocial behavior, particularly in the late evening. She's concerned that there's lots of children activities around, and it's a built-up area. How would you address the public nuisance issues, or if you have any plans to address those issues?
Yes, Chairman, we will be making sure a notice is put up in the premises to say, please leave quietly, consider our neighbors. We will be making sure that no noise is emulated, because we will not be playing. This isn't a restaurant where music is played. So we will be making sure, considering the public nuisance side of it, we'll also be making sure there's a bin outside, and there will be an extra staff in the evening, which will consider to make sure that people leave quietly and not make a noise.
Thank you.
Any more questions? I have a question, if I may, if the other 2 councillors have finished. Could I ask you to turn to the diagram at the end of Annex 1, which is the proposed plan of the site? Have you got that to hand?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I noticed. Yeah, my question is basically the door that is by the alcohol fridge, which leads to the back area. Clearly, the store, office, and toilet, which is at the top of the diagram, are the private areas. And I just wanted to confirm about how that door will operate, because clearly you don't want people grabbing things from the alcohol fridge, going through that door and dashing out the exit, which appears on the right-hand side of the diagram.
Yes, Chairman, that door will be kept locked at all times, and the key will be with the people working behind the counter. So it won't be left open. So as and when it's required to go in the store or in the office, the door will be locked.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. It wasn't totally clear, but I thought I would confirm it from the your goods itself. I have no further questions. Has anything sort of triggered in the minds of the other 2 councillors while I've been speaking?
No, that's fine, thank you, Councillor.
Thank you. Moving on to the responsible authorities, as set out in the report, all responsibility authorities received a copy of the application. A representation was received from the Metropolitan Police in relation to the prevention of crime and disorder licensing objections. Following mediation, the applicant has addressed the comments by making amendments to the operating schedule, and these amendments are reflected in conditions shown in Annex 3 of the report. In light of these amendments, the concerns raised by the Metropolitan Police have been satisfied, and the representation was withdrawn. On other persons, as set out in the report, in accordance with the council licensing policy, 264 addresses were consulted in writing and informed that an application had been received. 1 valid representation was received from other persons. This representation made reference to matters that relate to the prevention of crime and disorder licensing objectives. Copies of this representation were attached in Annex 4. Although the other person did not register to speak, these written representations will be taken into consideration. So what we now move on to in terms of the layout of the agenda is we give the opportunity of the applicant to make a closing statement if they wish to do so.
Yeah, Chairman, our closing, in our closing remarks, are you asking us to make the closing remarks?
Yes, that's right. I mean, sort of, if this is put in the agenda so that if there's sort of other participants, then this gives you an opportunity to sort of respond to those. If there aren't, then this gives you an opportunity to bring up anything that you feel that needs to be said that hasn't been already been said. It's not compulsory.
Thank you very much. Our remarks would be that we would make sure that 4 licensing objectives are robustly promoted. We'll be working very closely with all the responsible authorities, and we will be making sure that that we are running the premises in a manner that the community is expected to, and we would feel that this license be granted, and we would be making sure no breaches are taking place. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you. So we now reach the point where the subcommittee will withdraw and make its decision. The decision will be confirmed to all parties by email, and the full decision notice with reasons will then be sent to all parties within 5 working days. Can the members of the subcommittee reconvene in the decision making? Should we do that? We can do that now, can't we? So I look forward to seeing you all shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, Chair, regarding this matter of technical issue today, would you like us to stay on this?
No, the meeting is finished.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much, Chair. Sorry for the...
No problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Chair. We'll see you now.